Yeah. If washing machine does not work, Babushka has to make all with her hands. You make very good, Babushka. Here, you have earned rakia. Take rakia. Yeah, very good. Na zdrave.
Na zdravje.
Na zdrave, comrades. Enjoy the video. So when you travel Bulgaria in the off-season, with a little bit of luck, you get quite fancy rooms with a quite nice view. This back there is the peninsula of Neseba, UNESCO heritage site, very famous town. We have an amazing view. This is the peninsula, this is the bay over there, Black Sea. Neseba has been inhabited for around 3,200 years. The first real settlers were probably the Thracians. It was also ruled by Romans, Byzantines, Ottomans and Bulgarians. It was almost always an important port city on the Black Sea. Its history and historic buildings are unique, which earned it the name Pearl of the Black Sea. Admittedly, the place is very deserted in winter, which gives you time to visit the 31 churches and other ancient buildings, but places like the many art galleries are closed. One of the most impressive buildings is definitely the old church of Saint Sophia. The ruins of the church are located in the center of the ancient city. The basilica was built in the late 5th and early 6th century. Its current appearance dates back to the beginning of the 9th century. You can also find many buildings in traditional Bulgarian construction, which can be seen from the wooden beams. Many of the restaurants have Czech beer and even coffee life, you know what it is. And also like a lot of more or less Czech food like goulash and dumpling stuff, like classic Czech food anyway. And I don't really know why, like are there so many Czech tourists in Bulgaria? We haven't met one so far, I think. Another very well preserved church is the church of Saint John Aliturgetos. It is close to the Roman theatre and the lavishly decorated walls are well preserved.
Cheers!
We arrived in Varna and we thought it's a fun idea to get some cocktails on the beach, because until like 5 minutes ago it was really sunny and really warm and really nice. Now it's windy and cold and I think there's rain coming, and we have the most disgusting cocktails on this planet, I guess. This one is called Fuck You COVID.
And this should be mojito, but I'm pretty sure it's ouzo inside.
I think the idea of the Fuck You COVID is when people manage to finish this one, they knew this person has COVID, or it's just super disgusting. Because I think you only can finish this when you cannot taste anything. It's by far the most disgusting cocktail I've ever drank in my life. Bulgaria is full of rock monasteries. Especially in the northwest of the country, you can find a lot of them. We are here 15 kilometers north of Varna at the Alcha Monastery. The visit costs 5 leva, about €2.50. After the entrance, you can go straight into a small museum where all the valuables and mosaics that were found in the monastery are on display. The monastery existed from at least the 11th century and was probably used until the 14th century. However, there are speculations that the monastery was inhabited since the 4th century, although there is no evidence for this. You can explore the different floors of the monastery, and it is always explained which room had what use. What is immediately noticeable is that the kitchen was right next to the burial chambers, which is super weird. Furthermore, many of the visitors have too much money, which is why they leave it in some niches or throw it directly into the small chapel at the highest point of the monastery. So if you want to get back your entry fee, you can do so with a few handful of stotinki. What the fuck? If you follow the path through the forest, you can still visit the catacombs. The graves are somewhat reminiscent of the catacombs we visit in Sicily, or kind of the same as the Domus de Llanas in Sardinia. Welcome to Cape Kaliakra, here on the Black Sea. There are a lot of myths and legends about this cape, and the most famous one has probably to do with this little monument here. In the late 14th century, Bulgaria was invaded by the Ottomans. It is known that the conquerors were very brutal, and the legend of 30 maidens is told. They tied their hair together and jumped from the edge of the cliff, preferring to die on the rocks beneath rather than be captured. Cape Kaliakra is one of the most picturesque places on the Bulgarian Black Sea coast. It represents a rocky headland that reaches 2 kilometers into the ocean. The steep rock faces rise between 50 and 60 meters from the water. So the Cape Kaliakra, it's not only a heritage site with a lot of myths and legends, and a lot of history of course, but also a protected area, and there are a lot of rare wildlife species and also plant species here. One of these plants is still blooming in late fall. Crocus pallassi is probably the wild ancestor of today's saffron, Crocus sativus. You can find out more about this and many other unique plants and animals that we discover on a journey in my short section. It's also on the Via Pontica. It's one of the most important bird migration routes in the world. So during some time of autumn or fall, this is a very crowded place actually. All that remains of the former fortress are a few foundation walls and the rebuilt entrance tower. It was the scene of numerous battles. As we explored the narrow peninsula, we passed many smaller monuments and statues. At the end of the cape, you can find a stone balcony overlooking the Black Sea. Formerly, the site was a dervish monastery built under Ottoman occupation. Another local legend explains the formation of the peninsula. Saint Nicholas, patron saint of seamen, was fleeing the Ottomans at Kaliakra. To aid his escape, God created the cape beneath his feet, a narrow path stretching out into the sea. Saint Nicholas was nevertheless captured, and a chapel built here in 1993 stands memorial to his death. So now we are in Pobitite Kamani, which is actually a desert. It's one of the rare deserts in Europe, and it's a stone forest. Mystical, very mysterious place, let's call it like this. It is full of pillars, the highest are up to 7 meters. Scientists still don't know what exactly is the reason for these obscure formations to exist. There are many theories how these strange formations were created. For example, that it is a petrified forest, which makes the most sense to us, but it can also be an old coral reef or just some rock formations that were washed out by waves, wind or rain. However, so far nobody was able to prove their theory yet. The stone forest is one of the two existing deserts in continental Europe, the other one being in Spain. The desert consists of sand dunes and several groups of these rock formations on a total area of 13 square kilometers. It is one of the few places in Europe where cactus are known to grow wild and desert reptilians and other desert type animals to live.
The guy at the entrance said that to get rid of all my negative energy, I should take off my shoes and walk around in the sand and touch the stones. And now all the negative energy should leave my body. I hope I don't shit myself right now.
Kreis gehen, glaub ich.
Ich muss einmal um den Kreis gehen.
Ich glaub schon.
Nicht wirklich. Muss ich es nochmal berühren, glaubst du?
Weiß ich nicht, vielleicht.
Hallo! Naja.
Warte. Jetzt kommen die Steinchen. So, okay. Ja, schwimm dich.
So suddenly, wait. So suddenly it's winter in Bulgaria. What the fuck? Yesterday evening we had a power outage at the house of our friend, and maybe that's because, probably it's because a tree fell on the cables. Wow, look at this, look at this, look at this. There was not only snow, there was a massive wind. Holy shit. Damn. Okay, welcome to Bulgaria.
Our last stop for this video is Veliko Tarnovo. On a hill opposite the current city lies the Tsarevets fortress. Tarnovo was also the capital of medieval Bulgaria.
Welcome, comrades, to Veliko Tarnovo. This is apparently one of the oldest cities in whole Bulgaria, and due to this in whole Europe, or maybe even the world. I actually don't know.
Its beginning is unknown, but the first remnants of the city date from the dawn of human history. The first known inhabitants of the Bulgarian lands were the Thracians. Probably there were more ancient people before them, since there are discoveries with older dating, different than the familiar Thracian artifacts, but we don't know their name and almost nothing about them. This fortress was also the scene of many bloody battles. The most famous was probably that of 1393, when the Ottomans tried to take the fortress for 3 months and succeeded on July 17th, burned down most of the fortress. This also meant the fall of the Bulgarian Empire. Nowadays, fortunately, in a peaceful atmosphere, you can admire the beautiful views of the city, which is probably one of the most beautiful in whole Bulgaria. Some of the buildings were also renovated and partially rebuilt. You can also try out being an executioner in Baldwin's Tower.
These helmets are super hard, like super heavy. Like the people back in the days, they have been really neck strong, I think. Medieval pizza ovens.
What stands out is definitely the church at the highest point of the fortress. It was used from the 11th century and was destroyed in the Battle of 1393, but was rebuilt between 1970 and 1980, and is particularly impressive with the wall and ceiling paintings that you would not expect in a church. In addition to the fortress, you can also visit the old town of Veliko Tarnovo, which is built into the hill above the Jantra river. And so our culture and history trip came to an end. In the next and last video of our Bulgaria road trip, we will explore some of the countless caves of Bulgaria, their inhabitants, and some more of Bulgaria's unique nature. I hope you liked this video. If so, you know the deal. Like, comment or subscribe to the channel and follow our journey, and we hope to see you next time. Bye!